What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my 31 and 31, and this is day 3. And today we are reviewing Ginger Snaps. This movie is a 2000 horror movie. It was done by director John Fawcett, who is mostly known for co-creating Orphan Black, which is a very good show. If you guys want to check this movie out after you see the review, it is actually streaming free on AMC Plus and Peacock at the moment. This movie stars Katharine Isabelle, who I had a huge crush on when I was a kid. And she's been in a lot of horror movies, and she's a Canadian actress. She's been in movies like American Mary, Freddy vs. Jason, all three Ginger Snaps movies. What else? What else? See No Evil 2, which you can pass that movie. See No Evil, the first one was good. See No Evil 2 sucked, in my opinion. And then she was in Bad Times at the El Royale, which is a really underrated movie. I always tell people that want to check that movie out. You want to see a Tarantino. Oh my God, I can't even talk today. If you want to see a Tarantino movie without being done by Quentin, go watch Bad Times. It's got Chris Hemsworth. It's got a bunch of big actors in it. It's a great movie. Well, let's get into this movie. All right. So also in this film, we have Emily Perkins, who plays Bridget. She's been in everything from Juno to She's the Man. What I remember her from as a kid was It miniseries. She played young Beverly Marsh. And then she was in a bunch of episodes for Supernatural as well. And then playing the Fitzgerald sisters' mom is Mimi Rogers, who a lot of people know from a lot of things. What I know her from is The Doors and Austin Powers. And then rounding out this cast, in my opinion, the only other known actor that I remember seeing from other movies was Chris LeMeach. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. And I remember him as Ian McKinley from Final Destination 3. Great cast. I really enjoy this movie. Let's get into what I loved about this movie. Let's get into the gore and the death scenes. The gore is so fucking good in this movie and so well done. I love the death scenes. The death scenes are really done. They're not over gory like most movies are now. They were just that perfect hint of gore that you got in the 90s and the 2000s, and it worked wonderfully. One of my favorite death scenes in this movie is when, oh crap, trying to think this early in the morning. Let's just go with, I mean, she doesn't die, but let's go with the attack on Katharine Isabelle's character. Really fucking dope. You don't even see it coming. You just see the two sisters just sitting in the park, hanging out, and then they start looking up. They don't hear any crickets or anything, and they're like, huh, that's weird. And then all of a sudden, fucking Ginger just gets taken off screen, and you hear her screams. Fucking awesome. The fact, one of my favorite death scenes is the bully that's been pissing this girl that's been pissing him off pretty much the whole movie up to that point. She fucking smashes her head, fucks her shit up, blood everywhere. And then the mom comes home and they're like, "Oh, fake blood again." And they're like, "Yeah, cough syrup, like Carrie, corn syrup." And Ginger licks it off. It's real blood. And then she goes, "Oh, I gotta put the meat away." And then we're just like, "Let me do that. Let me do that." And then she opens the freezer and you see the body just sitting there. Fucking dope. The kills are great in this movie. The humor. The humor is like the perfect blend of horror and comedy. Kind of like how they did it in American Werewolf in London. Just they had that perfect mix of comedy and horror, and it just works. Like it's the chef's kiss to this movie. Like it's so good. The werewolf design. The werewolf design was original. It was different. It was cool. Seeing the transformation at the end was really dope. I always love watching transformations that look really painful, and this one looked really painful because you see her hunched over on all fours and her back arches, and you see the fucking spine just go whoosh. So dope. So dope. And then when you get to see the final werewolf, it's actually creepy. Like, it's different. They did their own design. They didn't copy off The Howling. They didn't copy off um uh American Werewolf. They didn't copy off of Dog Soldiers. Um they didn't copy off a lot of those werewolves. They didn't copy off um the movie Wolf. They didn't copy off of Wolfen. They did their own design and it was really awesome. And I love the fact that like it looked really cool on screen. All practical effects at that point because CGI wasn't really big in 2000 like it is now. Um, Even the CGI that they did do around that time was the Haunted Mansion type of CGI, and that wasn't that good. I wouldn't have fucking put that in this movie. This movie looks really good in the actual werewolf design. Let's go with score. Anybody knows me, I'm a huge score soundtrack fan. The score is amazing in this. I loved it. I thought it was great. The different action scenes mixed with the music, perfect, blended perfectly. I was never taken out of this movie from the music. So that was dope too. The cinematography. This is a beautifully well shot film. You could tell that they used a lot of the Canadian neighborhoods that they probably knew from over there. Um, but it was really you get the sense of togetherness as like where we live here, where we have our neighbors next door and stuff, and you know it's just everything's go lucky, whatever. Oh, dog keeps barking. Shut the fucking dog up. Like it was perfectly shot, and I thought it was a very beautiful film. Like it's actually really beautiful to look at, to be honest. Ginger's progression, one of my favorite things in this movie. I hate when movies, horror movies especially, like you do something like the person gets infected or bit by a werewolf or bit by a vampire or turns into like a creature and it's just like night and day. Like they're I'm fine, they're normal, and then the next day, like I hate that. I hate that. I like natural progression. In this movie is perfect. You get Ginger being the morbid, weird sister to Bridget, which Bridget's just as morbid. And they got that Fitzgerald sisters like morbidness to them that the other people in high school don't like. I thought that was great. Because I had friends like that when I was going to high school. I had the horror friends and the creepy people and the morbid people. That was my crew. That was my, that was my jam. But you get to see the natural progression of Ginger turning into this monster. Like she starts off with little like, oh my god, like I'm fine, I'm fine, and not only that, the reason why she gets bit is not only does she become a werewolf, she's becoming a woman because they throw in the her first period, stuff like that, which is really fucking cool. That's how the werewolf finds it because she starts bleeding and the werewolf smells it. Fucking great. Then it progresses into her attitude starts to change. Like she starts to get more hypersexual. She just wants to fuck around. She's getting this insatiable appetite that she can't fucking keep under control. Then the hair starts happening, which has a very funny line in the movie where she starts growing hair in random spots as a werewolf, but also as the she's turned into a woman, puberty for a woman, perfectly blend and how they did that one and one. Like it was great. It was great how they were like, yeah, she's becoming a werewolf, but she's also becoming a woman. So that werewolfness is a transformation as the like symbolism of her becoming a whole different person, which I thought was really cool. And the funniest line in that movie is, B, I'm getting hair. I can't have a hairy chest, B. Like I love that shit. Fucking great. Um, I love that the werewolf that bites Ginger is going after all the dogs, so you get to see all these dead dogs being around. Even though I hate when animals get killed, I thought the practical effects for the dead dogs were great. No dogs were harmed in this movie, of course, but they looked really real and really cool, and I really enjoyed that. And then like up to the final progression of what Ginger becomes at the very end, it's fucking dope, fucking dope. I loved it. Story. Again, story's great. Story's fucking awesome. Like, it's not a hard story to follow. It's very simplistic. It's very simple to follow. Like, girls are weird. Girl gets bit by werewolf. Girl changes. Girl becomes werewolf. Sister has to kill sister who's a werewolf. but the way they do it is so good, and the way it doesn't drag. The movie doesn't drag at all. The story doesn't drag. Everything moves at a pretty good pace. It's a little over 90 minutes, which is the perfect sweet spot for this movie. It didn't go on too long. It wasn't too short. They didn't shy away from the gore when they did the gore for the story's sake. Like, this movie's great. Now, if you take anything about this movie, I love this film. I do. This film is completely amazing to me, at least. I can watch this movie in the background. I can watch this movie when I'm bored. I thought it was really good. Uh, does it stand the test of time? I think so. I still think it holds up today as a great werewolf movie. A couple things is dated that you're gonna find out when you watch this film, but it didn't take away from my enjoyment. I still enjoy this movie every time I watched it. Even when I watched it for this review, I just chuckled to myself because I forgot how much I love this movie. It's so good. Um, they did come out with two sequels. They came out with Ginger Snaps 2 and then Ginger Snaps the Beginning, which the beginning I didn't like. I thought it was stupid. The fact that it's more like a standalone than a actual prequel, because how did they end up back in the past? And then they kind of explain, oh well, this is Ginger and Bridget from the early 1900s or 1800s or some shit. I haven't seen it in forever. And it's like, wait, so they're the ancestors, but the mother knew about it, so, and to name them Ginger and Bridget later in life, like, no. And I really like part two, even though it is a step down. Part two is pretty much, if you watch this movie, you see that Bridget ends up getting the infection of the lycanthropy, and she starts turning into a werewolf herself in the second one, and she's in a mental institution because they think she's fucking crazy, because she keeps telling everybody, I'm a werewolf, and everyone's like, ha ha ha, crazy bitch. And they put her in a mental institution. All while she's in the mental institution, she has a alpha werewolf, trying to find her because it wants to mate with her. So second one's pretty good too if you want to check that out if you do like this movie. All in all, I give this movie a 4 out of 5. Reason why I don't say it's a perfect movie, just because, it is a 2000s movie. It is 24 years old. There are some things that do feel a little dated in it. That's why it took away the 1 star for me. But I would name it 4 out of 5 stars for this film. Again, everybody watching these reviews, I really appreciate all of you. This is day 3. I got a shit ton more to come out. I will be doing tomorrow. I will be doing Dracula, Dracula, Prisoner of Frankenstein, which is a full moon movie. Not too bad. I want to talk about that one. I'm going to have a lot to talk about that one. And then on day 5, we are doing Lisa Frankenstein, which is the directorial debut of Zelda Williams, who is Robin Williams' daughter. That movie was really, really cool. Very horror comedy in that sweet spot, kind of like Tucker and Dale, Shaun of the Dead, those horror comedies that work just so well. Lisa Frankenstein worked as well for me for that. So I will be getting to those reviews the next 2 days. So definitely check them out. As always, if you do enjoy this video, please go to the YouTube channel. Please give a like. Please give a subscribe. I want to be able to do more bigger things. I want to be able to start putting on events for people in the 71666. I want to be able to do movie events. I still have an idea to do a double feature Q&A. Let me tell you about that really quickly if I can get this pulled off. It was almost pulled off before COVID, and I had contracts being written up for both Barbara Crampton and Fred Decker. Barbara Crampton, because I wanted to do a double feature of Chopping Mall and Reanimator, and to do a Q&A afterwards for fans and shit like that. I also was getting a contract written up for Fred Decker for a double feature Q&A of Monster Squad and Night of the Creeps, which I will also be reviewing in this 31 and 31 down the line. Again, that is another movie I really, really, really gush over and love, because Night of the Creeps is as perfect a film for me as any other. So again, if you like this content, please like, subscribe, tell your friends about it. Get them to like and subscribe. The more stuff I can be able to do and get people to like, is more stuff I can be able to put out for the future. Also, I do have a podcast coming out. That's what this 31 and 31 is a preview of what I'm going to be doing. Again, I'm going to be having a podcast starting near the 1st of November. It is going to be called Crimson Crawley's Horror Show. We are going to be doing horror news, horror movie of the week discussion. I also have a couple retrospectives coming that are going to be about 2 hours, give or take. One is going to be a Godzilla retrospective, where I'm going to be teaming up with my buddy Gary. He's going to be in on that one, and a couple special guests. And I also have a Jaws franchise retrospective, which I cannot wait to talk about, which will be with myself, probably, most definitely my girl, who is very much a big Jaws fan, and who likes to tease and mess with me about the shark roaring in part 3 and 4, which it annoys me in the funniest way because sharks don't roar. They do not have lungs. I can't wait to talk about that retrospective because there's a lot of shit that I have to put out there that I don't know how the fuck it works. So again, if you like this video, like, subscribe, tell your friends, and until tomorrow for tomorrow's video, which tomorrow's video again will be Dracula, Prisoner of Frankenstein. As always, stay creepy, my friends.